Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about Rajon Rondo and his circumstances with the Memphis Grizzlies. There's some speculations that's out there that Rajon Rondo is unlikely to play for the Memphis Grizzlies after he was traded by the LA Clippers alongside Patrick Beverley, where Patrick Beverley once again got traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Excuse me, I had to think about that for a bit because he got traded so much. So now he's with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Rajon Rondo is remaining with the Memphis Grizzlies. And as it stands right now, with multiple reports that's out there, is that all indications are showing that he is unlikely to play for the organization there. And it could end up to either him getting traded or potentially getting bought out by the Memphis Grizzlies. But it still remains to be seen about his status with the organization and when will that potentially happen, if he will get traded or get bought out. So, and knowing the Lakers, they're monitoring the situation with Rajon Rondo, and all indications are showing that the Lakers are a destination for Rajon Rondo to go to if he somehow moves on from the Memphis Grizzlies. And but it still remains to be seen about that, guys. These are just rumors and reports that are out there. He could potentially get traded, but some people don't want the burden of getting I believe he's going to be making like somewhere around 8.9 million. So maybe some teams don't really need his services and just decide to, I don't know, maybe wait on the opportunity for him to pick a destination that he wants to go to if he's bought out. But I know, knowing some reports that are out there, is that the Lakers are part of the conversation for the next destination for Rajon Rondo if he is going to get bought out by the Memphis Grizzlies. So still remains to be seen about that, guys. I mean, it's a lot of interest from when it comes to this particular report, and especially when it comes to Lakers Nation and Laker fans. When it comes to this particular report, their eyes are drawn to Rajon Rondo because of his history with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was a huge help for the Lakers when it came to the playoffs. He was playoff Rondo, and he delivered for the Los Angeles Lakers when it came to the playoffs in 2020 when we were in the bubble. And he just helped the Lakers out big time when it came to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. When there was times through the series when they were just not stepping up to the best of their ability. They just needed some help from certain players, and Rajon Rondo was basically like the third option mixed with Kyle Kuzma type of third option type of players, and he was basically the main focal point of the Lakers' second unit, and it just ended up the Lakers, delivering a 17th title to the organization in franchise history. So, just coming from a personal standpoint, I would love to bring back Rajon Rondo because he just brings all the traits and just being a good fit for him when it comes to this veteran team that's on the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, he knows most of the players that's on the Lakers currently, and the relationship is there. And I believe just for him to have that sort of, players that are like around his age and just having the ability to just play with them would just, I think will fit very well for him. And plus it brings that floor general-esque to the table, and plus being a good defender, and even though when he was with the Lakers he shot, I believe, like 36%, he has the capability of pulling it off. So having his shooting ability would also work out when it comes to the Lakers as well. And I know last season when he was with the LA Clippers in the playoffs, we didn't see playoff Rondo, but I think when it comes to circumstances where he is very familiar of, when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers, I believe he will step up to the plate and help the Lakers in any given cost to win games, and potentially when it comes to the playoffs. And I just really think that he will do so when it comes to coming back to a team that he's familiar of, and a coach where he won a championship with, and he already knows the system when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers. So I think it will be a much easier route for him to come back to the Los Angeles Lakers, and I believe I speak for all Laker fans when it comes to this aspect, because and I think it will also fit to what the Lakers are looking for. The management, when it comes to Rob Pelinka filling up those 3 roster spots that's still remaining. Now, there's some reports that's out there that they're going to use 2 of the roster spots and leave one of them open to either one of the players from the G League, from the South Bay Lakers, or potentially just wait until February when the buyout market comes about, and see what certain players will get bought out from their respected teams. So that's the main reason why maybe the Lakers will just save that last roster spot for something else. And I think the reason, and I believe most Laker fans are, including myself, are still frustrated because the Lakers haven't filled up those particular spots yet on the roster, because the aspect is that they want to wait and see who will get bought out from their teams as of right now, because we're seeing like a couple of players who could potentially get bought out from their respective teams in the next maybe couple of weeks, or maybe just a month away when it comes to before the beginning of the regular season. So in October, and as I'm uploading this video, it's in August. So the Lakers have maybe a couple more weeks, or maybe just a couple of months, to see which player gets bought out from certain teams and who the Lakers will target. So, and I believe one of them is Rajon Rondo, and we already know, as I mentioned, the circumstances of the Lakers. They are looking for a point guard who is who can shoot, and they already been looking at Isaiah Thomas, Darren Collison, and just plethora of others, other point guards who are still available in free agency. And guys, if I had to pick between the list of what the Lakers have when it comes to targeting certain point guards, and if one of them is Rajon Rondo, I would go with Rajon Rondo, to be honest with you, because just Laker fans remembering him and just knowing how he played for the Lakers with his tenure with the Lakers. So just the skill set of how we know what Rajon Rondo played for the Lakers was just still memorable. And there was just some speculations out there that maybe the Lakers will target Rajon Rondo, but it still remains to be seen about that. And as I said from the beginning, still remains to be seen, because the Memphis Grizzlies could potentially trade him or potentially buy him out. It's still up in the air. It still remains to be seen about the status of Rondo and the Memphis Grizzlies. So still up in the air, and judging by the reports, it could potentially end up for him to get bought out, but I won't be surprised if he gets traded, though, because he does have a demand when it comes to his skill set. So and I believe a couple of years ago was a similar situation where Andre Iguodala, he was with the Memphis Grizzlies at one point, and the Lakers were showing a lot of interest for Andre Iguodala to get bought out, but the stubborn team in the Memphis Grizzlies just kept him and trade him somewhere else because they didn't want him to end up with the Lakers. And if he actually did end up with the Lakers could have had a much better shot of winning that championship in that particular year, which it was 2020. So either way, it was a win-win for the Los Angeles Lakers at the end of the day, and we won a championship at the end of the day. So that's all we had to say, guys. Please give me your thoughts about the Lakers and the circumstances of Rajon Rondo and the Memphis Grizzlies. If he does get bought out by the Memphis Grizzlies, do you think the Lakers should pursue him in the buyout market, or should they pursue someone else? Maybe Isaiah Thomas, maybe Darren Collison if he's willing to come back out of retirement to the NBA, or is there someone else out there that the Lakers should focus on? I personally really think that the Lakers should focus on big men, going after some centers, if you will. But for some reason, their main focus is to go after some point guards. But I think it's a smart move in a sense. But at the same time, you have to look at the big men center-wise when it comes to the Lakers, because all they have as it stands now with Dwight Howard, Marc Gasol, and you can make the argument that AD is considered to play more minutes at the center position. So technically, pure centers is Dwight Howard and Marc Gasol. But as I mentioned in my last video, the circumstances of Marc Gasol just not being a lock with the Lakers for next season is still questionable, and you never know about his circumstances. He could potentially move on by the Lakers by just them buying him out, or maybe possibly I don't think they can trade him, but stranger things do happen when it comes to this industry. So we just have to see, guys. We have to see, and please give me your thoughts about Rajon Rondo potentially reuniting with the Lakers if it happens. Please give me your thoughts about that, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.